Hey, I'm wondering if you had any thoughts about LeBron and NBA and China and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, my general thoughts is I've been saying for a million years, businesses, corporations, entities, whatever, Nike, Volvo, the NBA, I've been really studying commercials, advertisements, is sort of what they're putting out there all the time, and it's like Subaru no longer does car commercials. They do commercials where dogs just drive their cars to a puppy farm and everyone puts daisies in their hair.
Right.
And I was pointing out that Subaru also makes military attack helicopters. Okay?
Yeah.
So where all the vibes coming from? You know what I mean?
Yes.
And Nike and everyone's down with the vibes. But I keep saying these companies, they don't have personalities. They want money.
Yeah.
But they want you to think they're down.
What you're down with.
Yeah.
See, it's us. They're
going to lick their finger. They're going to stick it in the air. If good vibes are what's on tap and we're not talking about rust proofing or powertrain warranties or anything, then we're going to talk about good vibes.
The cars are all kind of the same. They're all kind of good,
Right.
It's really what price range you're looking at.
Right. So the NBA is down with, being active, socially active. And the NBA, if you're Steve Kerr and your starting 5 players are African American, you better be down with the cause, or Popovich or whoever. I mean, if you're an NBA coach, I don't want to say NBA carry 13 guys, 12 guys, 13 guys. If you're an NBA coach or an NBA owner and you're carrying around 13 players and 11 and a half of them are black, you better be down with the cause, and when Kaepernick takes a knee, you better take a knee too. There's a lot of that going around, right?
Just good business, you mean?
Yeah, it's just that these guys are on a team. They got to play for us. They're talking about they're putting a fist in there. 15 total, 13 active. Yeah, okay, so 13 active. Anyway, most NBA teams, if there's 15 guys on the team, 11 are black. So when there's black causes and you're the middle-aged white coach, what are you going to do?
Sure.
So I get it. That's business. And then the NBA, that's kind of business.
And you could even put a less sinister spin on it. Say these are his friends. They're working together every day, supporting his buddy.
I'm not even.
Come on.
I'm not even really putting a sinister spin on it.
I mean a less inhuman spin. You know what I mean? It's just a human piece.
You got to get along, and they got to listen to you, and you got to go to work every day. And sure.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, look. You live in California.
Yeah.
Would you put a Trump bumper sticker on your car?
No.
No, because it'd be someone throw a rock at it. I mean, you got to get along.
Mm-hmm.
I get that, and that's part of business.
Yeah.
So then the problem is a lot of the stuff you talk about is human rights and human dignity and brutality and oppression and all that.
By this state. The United States.
By the United States.
Yeah.
But no one, when they're talking about human rights or women's rights or gay and trans rights or whatever, they don't go limited to the contiguous United States, Alaska, and Hawaii.
Right.
They just go, I'm for all gay rights. I'm for all human rights. I'm for all women's rights. Right?
Right.
And then you go, okay, but what about female genital mutilation that's being performed routinely around? How come you're not whipped up about that? And they're like, I don't know enough about that. It's like, all right, well, it's called female genital mutilation.
How much you need to know.
It's kind of right in the bumper sticker there. So should you be outraged at the region of the world or the countries that participate in that? I can't judge that.
Right.
Okay.
Cultural relativism.
Right. Now you're letting me know you're not as into it as maybe you said you were. Because if you're just into it and you're just consistent, then you're more outraged by female genital mutilation.
I think you will find people justify that unjust position by essentially saying, well, I only have control over my country. That's all I really understand and know, and I got to take care of my own, that kind of stuff. But you're right. If they really just cared about women and their rights, you should be outraged.
Right. So the NBA is woke and the players are woke and many of the fans are woke, just like many people who buy Subaru are woke. And so they want to cater to their woke crowd. Mm-hmm. So when something comes up like holding the All-Star game in Charlotte or something and they voted down the third bathroom, then they go, we're not going to do this because we believe in rights and transgender rights and whatever. Now, look, the average NBA owner is a white billionaire who's 67 and 4 months. I don't know how strong his feelings are about the third bathroom and canceling the NBA game. I'm guessing he's just going along for the business ride.
More of the good business that you were talking about earlier. You're continuing to build that case. I get that.
Which makes me assume you're hypocrites, but I also assume Subaru's full of shit as well. But that's just me. But unfortunately, Subaru doesn't really have to prove it. And the problem with something like China, and is it Hong Kong?
Yeah.
Yeah, Hong Kong and the China situation is, woke people, now you have to prove it. Now you have to take this super oppressive regime, because you're into human rights, and you hate the oppressors. And remember, you're super sensitive to this. Like, I'll admit it, third bathroom, I don't really care. I'm not that woke. I don't like, kids being separated from their parents at the border. Like, I'm not a fan. I understand what they're doing. The kids needed to be treated well, but I'm not so woke that I'm comparing it to Nazis and the Holocaust. So I admit, I'm about a 2.5 on the woke-o-meter, but you guys are super woke. So whatever's going on in China, you're going to blow your top. You're going to be outraged. Because we've set the table. You're for human dignity, and you're for human rights, and oppressive regimes. Guys like Trump, you've spoken out. So now when we get to a real oppressive regime, you're going to get a bullhorn, and we're going to hear your words echo from the valleys. But then you don't say anything, and then you apologize.
Didn't LeBron start by saying something and then had to apologize and worse?
I didn't even know the latest. I know one guy makes an innocuous tweet about standing with Hong Kong, and he has to apologize, and then everyone has to apologize. And now I'm starting to wonder, is this about money?
What? How could that be?
But I thought you guys were woke. But Subaru, why do you make attack helicopters when you make puppy transporters? How do we reconcile this, Drew? Well, what this podcaster's figured out is the NBA likes money. Mm-hmm. And if being woke gets them more money, then woke they shall be. Now, woke, when it comes to getting money here in the States, is great. Woke, as it pertains to losing billions in China, well, now we have a little different situation. Hollywood, super woke, little sleepy when it comes to China.
Yep. And they haven't said a thing, have they?
No. Because guess what? They like money. Just like they're super woke when it comes to paying taxes and paying more and everything else, but they all fly out of town and go to Atlanta. I mean, the wokest of the wokest, Samuel L. Jackson. I did a comedy gig there in January. His room was next to me. We were in Winnipeg. He was shooting a movie for 6 months in Winnipeg, all in Canada. Okay. I get it. Your business. And you should go to Canada and save on taxes or save on unions or save on whatever. It's all fine. Spare me the fucking lecture. Spare me the fucking woke lecture where you're better than I am morally. Shut the fuck up. Take your money from China. Take your money from Canada. Take your money from New Mexico or wherever you're filming. Just shut up. Stop with your virtue signaling and hammering checks. So now you're put in a weird position. So now you're Steve Kerr, who has opinions on everything, except for you don't have any opinions on this. You don't know. And Steve Kerr was like a deer in the headlights. He pops off constantly about all the oppression here, but he really hasn't studied China. Well, they have gulags. They take Muslims and they put them in camps, and there's like a camp with like 1 million Muslims in it. They're horrible, Steve Kerr. Now your turn. Still need more info? Not enough? You know all about bad cops. You don't know anything about bad nations? Huh. And you readily give your opinion on everything. But this one, you have to study up on. And by the way, you're going to study up on it and get back to us? Or are you just going to study up on it and never say another word about it? A CNN reporter asked James Harden. Yeah. And we have that somewhere. But they said to James Harden, like, hey, what about it, Mr. Woke? And he and the NBA official's like, that's not a basketball question. And the person's like, oh, that's all we're talking about. That's all we've been talking about for 3 days. And he's like, he went full Easter Island after apologizing to China. So
I have a feeling,
does James Harden like China?
It may not even be the NBA. It might be the shoe companies.
It is. I'm sure it is. But
Nike.
Does James Harden like Nike?
No, it's the shoe
yes,
companies.
Fuck
that really,
Nike. The fucking Colin Kaepernick shit. All right. Why isn't Colin Kaepernick speaking out?
Right.
Okay. Anyway, you're making money, and these are lies. And this whole thing with the, black people have a target on their back and cops are shooting them. It's statistically, it doesn't work. It's a lie. But fine. You're making money. You don't care. Making money off fear, that bothers me. So James Harden, who has something to say about many things, has nothing to say. And the NBA is arguing. Look, okay, you're business and you're doing business in China. And Hollywood, your business and you're doing business with scoundrels in China. Fine. Now spare me the fucking lecture. That's all. Do your business with your tyrannical nations and make a shitload of money. And then go home and shut the fuck up. That's all. It'll be super consistent. Or blab all you want and refuse to do business with China because they're oppressors and you hate oppression. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Does that any part of that sound illogical?
No.
Okay. I'll let you do it one way or the other, not both. That makes you a hypocrite.
Yeah, the inconsistency generally in the world right now is what bothers me. I'm worried about a straw in a turtle's nose, but the sea lions and dolphins that are dying by the ton because of the human feces running off the streets of Los Angeles, I don't seem to know about.
Right. Do you have that Harden?
Still looking for it. I'm trying to contact Chris.
Max Pata has it somewhere. I think what you and I respond to is just hypocrisy. Just don't give me these civics lectures and then take the money of tyrants.
It's more than – I'm not even sure it's hypocrisy. It's something a little more ignorant than that. It's a lack of – it's like having blinders on. I only see the turtle with the straw. I can't see the dolphins. I can't see them. Let me show you the dolphins. I can't see it.
But I'm talking about China.
No, I understand. It's the same thing, though. You show him the human rights violations. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't see it. Weird.
No, I don't think it's. I don't see it. They see it clearly, and they're overcompensating. This is basically Ellen dancing at the beginning of the show.
Yes.